So we are just hours away now from another pivotal Supreme Court decision. Now, this one expected to decide whether the Biden administration must continue to enforce the Trump era remain in Mexico policy or not. So let's discuss all the latest developments regarding the border crisis and look ahead to that case with former New York State Senator, Democratic strategist David Carlucci, and Article 3 Project President Mike Davis. Welcome back to both of you.
Thank you, Shannon.
All right, let's start here with Congresswoman Cori Bush, Democrat, tweeting Tuesday, "The tragedy in San Antonio is devastating. My heart breaks for the victims and their families. May they find peace. Inhumane policies like Title 42 and Remain in Mexico recklessly endanger people seeking asylum. We must end these policies and save lives." Mike, we might get a decision from the court on that tomorrow.
Yeah, so the Remain in Mexico policy implemented by President Trump in 2018 dramatically reduced these asylum seekers coming into America, fake asylum seekers coming into America, because what President Trump did was had these asylum seekers from Central America claim asylum in Mexico. The United States provided housing and other assistance while we adjudicated their claims. And when people realized they couldn't get into America and then be turned loose like they normally were, they stopped trying to come. And so that dramatically reduced this human trafficking operation and smuggling operation that leads to women and children being killed in this process.
It is absolutely devastating as those numbers continue to rise. So we have, outlets and analysts across the spectrum saying, listen, we got to acknowledge that we are hitting record numbers that we've never seen before at these illegal incursions at the border. The Washington Post, even in the editorial board, saying this: the Biden administration's mixed messaging, it has told migrants not to come while also seeking more humane policies, is one factor in the current torrent of migration. They go on from there. But David, is this administration sending mixed messages on coming to the border?
They're saying, look, Remain in Mexico has to be repealed. We only have to look to the tragedy that happened in San Antonio, where 50 migrants found trapped dead in the back of a pickup truck. We have to ask ourselves, why are people taking these extreme measures, putting themselves in danger to get into the United States and leave the terrorist situation that they're fleeing? And the question is, and the answer is, because that's their only alternative. Because we have policies like Remain in Mexico, which have dehumanized the immigration process and looked at migrants as subhuman. And that's why we see people taking desperate measures to cross the border. We should have a process, like we've had in the past, where people that are seeking asylum can come to the United States and do that. This is inhumane, it's un-American, and it has to stop.
Well, let's talk about that. The ACLU, specifically talking about this case at the Supreme Court, we expect an opinion in the morning, says if the Supreme Court prevents the Biden administration from ending Remain in Mexico, it will enshrine a new legacy for the United States, a legacy of turning its back on international commitments and sending people directly into harm's way. Mike, that lines up with what David just said. So what's your response?
It's complete nonsense. So President Obama granted amnesty to up to 6 million women and children through his DACA and DAPA programs in 2012, 2014. He did it through executive fiat. President Trump came in 2017 and tried to get rid of it by executive fiat. The Supreme Court held that he has to follow the Administrative Procedures Act, the APA, jump through administrative hoops in order to do it. The same thing's happening here with President Biden's repeal of Remain in Mexico. He didn't jump through the proper hoops to evaluate the policy considerations before he got rid of Remain in Mexico on Inauguration Day. And that's what the Supreme Court is deciding. And again, Remain in Mexico saved lives because it stopped the flow of these bogus asylum seekers who were coming to America and putting women and children in grave danger.
Well, and David, the Supreme Court has regularly pushed back on executive power and the use of executive power. And as Mike talks about the DACA case, I would have thought this administration may have taken a closer look at the way that they did this because of what happened in that case. Do you think they brush back executive power tomorrow?
Well, I hope that they overturn this case and allow this to be rescinded. It's inhumane, and I think the Biden administration is trying to do the right thing. They're sensitive to the concerns at the border, and they need a process for migrants to file asylum and enter the country legally. Right now, you have a process with Title 42 and Remain in Mexico, where people do not have a legal means forward. So they're taking these desperate actions. And we're going to continue to see this, unfortunately. Last year, we saw the most documented migrant deaths at the border than we've ever seen since it's been recorded by the United Nations. We have almost 300 migrants that have died in the first 6 months of this year because of these disastrous policies. We've got to wake up and have common sense rule the day.
Well, we'll see if there can be a bipartisan solution because, as we always talk about, these are human beings, mothers, dads, children, and another 53 gone this week. So let's hope that we can come to some kind of solution. And we'll see what the Supreme Court decides. 10 a.m. I'll be out there covering it. I'll see you gentlemen then.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you both.